This video was made in the month of February 2025. In the United States of America, it is currently Black History Month. Some people ask why there even is a Black History Month, or there is no White History Month. In the following few minutes, we will explore why. In 1926, the American historian Carter G. Woodson devised Negro History Week in the United States, which was later extended to a full month, February. It takes place in the United Kingdom during the month of October. This was because he felt, justifiably, that the historical achievements of Black people had been denied, ignored, overlooked, or in some cases passed off as being achieved by people who were not Black. The denial of African history or the attempts to undermine or restrict it date back at least to the 18th century. Immanuel Kant, the German philosopher, stated in Observations on the Feeling of the Beautiful and Sublime, quote, Mr. Hume challenges anyone to cite a single example in which a Negro has shown talents. He was referring to of national characters in essays, moral and political, in 1742 by David Hume, a renowned Scottish philosopher, where Hume states, quote, I am apt to suspect the Negroes to be naturally inferior to the whites. There scarcely ever was a civilized nation of that complexion, nor even any individual, eminent either in action or speculation, no ingenious manufactures amongst them, no arts, no sciences. These beliefs were taken up in the 19th century by George Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel, the German philosopher. His views on the subject, found in Lectures on the Philosophy of History, include, quote, At this point we leave Africa, not to mention it again, for it is no historical part of the world. Arthur de Gobineau, who defined three color-coded races, argued that two of them, yellow Asians and black Africans, had no history at all and had not started any civilizations. These ideas were firmly established in the minds of some of England's leading 20th century historians. Arnold J. Toynbee was a history professor at King's College London and London School of Economics. In The Study of History, Volume 1, published in 1934, he wrote, When we classify mankind by color, the only one of the primary races which has not made a creative contribution to any of our 21 civilizations is the black race. A slightly more recent example came from Hugh Trevor-Roper, who became professor of modern history at Oxford University in 1957. In the 1960s, he argued that there is only the history of Europeans in Africa. The rest is darkness. The high regard in which he was held resulted in him being made Baron Dacre of Glanton in 1979 and Master of Peterhouse College, Cambridge, a year later. The prominence, reputation, and influence of these philosophers and historians may explain the following comments. The tragedy of Africa is that the African has never really entered into history. The golden age that Africa is forever recalling will not return because it has never existed. Those are words from one of the first speeches made by the French politician Nicolas Sarkozy after he was elected as the President of France. They were made in Dakar, Senegal in July 2007. Comments from such a prominent statesman is evidence of how the beliefs put forward in this video were very much part of popular culture and the legacy of racial theories. The denial of African history was exemplified by Hume stating that there scarcely ever was a civilized nation of that complexion, or Gobineau arguing that Africans had no history at all and had not started any civilizations. To name but a few dating back over thousands of years, ancient Egypt or Kemet, Nubia, ancient Ghana, Canaan, Mali, Songhai. It is no coincidence that the phrase from here to Timbuktu denotes a mythical or far-away place. In reality, Timbuktu in Mali is home to the UNESCO World Heritage Site, the University of Timbuktu, which incorporates the Jingareba Mosque. Founded in the 14th century with 200 kilograms of gold donated by the ruler of the Mali Empire, Mansa Musa. He is famous for his Hajj pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324, where he traveled with an entourage, and a supply of gold so vast that it affected the value of gold in Egypt. He was famous enough outside of Africa to be depicted on the Catalan Atlas in 1375. He is one of a number of individuals, empires, and civilizations that have been covered in the book When We Ruled by Robin Walker or the Timeline Scroll by Paul Obinna, or in the 1960 publication Pre-Colonial Black Africa by Cheikh Anta Diop, who ironically has a university named after him in Dakar, where Sarkozy gave his 2007 speech. Stay tuned for more videos on where racism comes from. And please, like, share, and subscribe.